it's going to be difficult to find a principal that's already at another school. We know that Ms. Barlow has committed to us for 90 days. It could be longer. It just depends. It could be short. Like we said, we want to make sure that we get school going, with the dust settled, and let's get about teaching and learning, and then put our focus on that. So that's our plan. And our teachers ask that same question as well.
I think one of the questions the teachers had was, well, how do you move a current assistant principal or current principal within the district in the middle of the school year? Does that happen? That has happened before. And that certainly, you know, if we have assistant principals and principals that are currently within the district that want to go through the application process and apply, we do make those changes during the school year. And so that's not something that we would need to wait until the following year to make. We also want to be cognizant of certain times during the school year to make sure that this transition is one that doesn't have an impact, a negative impact on what's going on in the classroom. So we talk about that 3-month time frame. We certainly look at wanting to maybe perhaps have that transition occur in the fall. So when we come back in January, that we have whomever that person will be is in place, because of course when January comes, you're into second semester and you're working towards making sure that students have mastery of all of the standards that they need to have mastery of for the school year. And then you're moving into the examination period that occurs in April. So we're cognizant that there's certain time frames of the year that it would not be a good time to bring a new person on board. So we're going to keep that in mind as well as we go through this process.
And any time we make movements during the school year, it's due to a promotion. So going from assistant principal to a principal would be a promotion, and we would make that move. Rumors were swirling that a lot of teachers lost their job under the prior principal. How many lost jobs, or are there still open positions going into the new school year? I'm not aware of any one who lost their job. I'm not sure what the openings are. Well, we did the RIF. We did the RIF system-wide. So reduction in force, I'm sorry. We use a lot of jargon sometimes. A reduction in force, you know, we went through the budget crisis. And so teachers lost their jobs in that respect. And do you know if we have any openings? Okay, there aren't any openings. I figured we would, not with the RIF and all the movement that took place. You mentioned at least 3 months for the interim principal. Is there a possibility she will leave before the permanent replacement is ready to take over the school? Normally what we have done in the past is we had some transitional time between that interim and that permanent one, where the interim is there. I think we did a week one time. So there is a smooth transition. And I would assume that we would do the same in this case as well. That has been a practice of ours. Is Kathy Barlow is only committed 3 months? Do you not intend to start the search until the fall? What happens when her 3 months comes to an end? I guess that question is asking us, will we start the process before she leaves? And I'm assuming we will do that. Yeah, we will do that, because we'll have where the interim and the permanent one will overlap, maybe for about a week. Will Patty Franklin and Patsy be back for the entire? Okay, yes. And that is one of the things that we've heard and I've heard, is that we will have stability there. I know that's what you all were concerned about. And they know your children. And they know the curriculum. What will you tell the children? Having only been here 1 year, huge turnover, principal, VP, a lot of turnover, how will you manage the transition plan for the children? And that's a good question. And the teachers ask that same question. And we're going to put together something, because I think that's important. You're going to ask that question. And I don't have the answer at this point in time, but we're going to develop some talking points for the teachers. They ask that same question. I understand there's a new assistant principal as well. Who is it? Who is that? You just introduced her. How will they be effective? Will they be considered for principal? Well, I can tell you that I have worked with Ms. Walton, and she is very knowledgeable. And anyone who meets the posting requirements can apply for the position. And normally APs, assistant principals, have those qualifications so they can apply. I have not heard any rumors, but what you have said has not happened. Seems to be the thing I would worry about. What if the parents and teachers want Mr. Trussell back? Well, that's not possible, and that will not happen. Okay?
So parents don't have to say so,
Not in that.
we pay our taxes, we live here, we can get no say so on who we want.
He has violated federal laws, ma'am, and pretty much admitted to that. So,
He was good with children.
yeah, but we got to also have federal laws as well.
Law is binding.
Why won't you tell us that law? What he did?
Let me just speak to that because the question was, why won't we tell you that? We have to report this information to the Professional Standards Commission. And once we report that information to the Professional Standards Commission, it does become public. And by that, that means that you can ask for an open records response. And you can say, I would like to have an open records response, and I would like to have the information about this case. So there is a process that you can be involved in. And it's called an open records request if you want to know specific information. But tonight's not the forum for us to go through this process.
Why?
Because remember, we've got due process in place, and there's requirements that we have to follow, and we have to.
We're not allowed to.
We're not allowed to. Yes. What we were allowed to share with you. I'm sorry.
Charges placed against.
Sir, we have some questions we need to get to if you have further questions.
I'm sorry. This seems to be the crux of the issue. Why?
Sir, they were relating to Title VII
Why?
issues.
The only question you need to explain.
We share with you what we can share with you tonight.
Title VII.
It's Title VII, and it's a legal matter. So what we've shared with you tonight is really all that we can share.
And that's what we've been directed by our school board attorney that we can share at this point in time. Okay, the next question, and it seems like this is a two-part question, I'm not sure. This is the 22nd or 23rd new principal to start in the 10-11 school year. I'm not sure what they're asking there. How come the selection process is only being used here? The rest are all direct appointment. What makes this situation unique? And the superintendent has the right, the authority to make direct appointments. And she uses her discretion in doing that. And when we don't go through, and there's usually some circumstances surrounding that we are not always privy to, but she knows. And so she has that authority. And when we don't do the direct appointment, then this is the standard process that we use. And we use this in the majority of the situations when we select principals. Not sure about that first one, so. When and why did Ms. Johnson leave as assistant principal? Well, let me just say this, and we don't really go into personnel. I'm just